Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 149. If you have landed on this podcast today, this is your biggest sign that you have met your twin flame. Why I'm saying that? Stick until the end, because in today's episode I'm going to tell you something incredible that has happened to me, has happened to some others, and there is a story involved that will make sense to you while you are on this journey. So just wanted to say that if you clicked on this podcast by any chance today, you are on this journey. And how do I know that? Because the chances that you will find me somehow or connect to me somehow are very little, comparatively how much information we have out there. And what I'm going to tell you on my podcast today might activate something inside of you, the knowing that, oh, that must be me. So we're going to dive into this and be ready to be surprised. And I'm going to also walk you through of the things about the union. So how can you, in the sense of get into the union, and what are very, very simple practices that will help you along the way while you don't know if I am on this journey, what is happening to me, why is it happening to me, and so on. Coming back to the fact that if you are listening to this podcast, I know that so many of you have said to me, I have no idea how I landed on your podcast. All of a sudden, I just heard some words that ignited me, resonated with me, and here I am. That was one of the reasons when I first started my podcast. I don't know if any of you have heard the first episode, but on my first episode I say, if this podcast will help one person to change their life and come to union, I've done all what I have to do. And now I'm saying this again because it somehow has come to the full circle. One full circle. One puzzle piece is coming together. So let's dive into. Right before we go, of course, I want to tell you that all my Virgo friends, because we are in a Virgo new moon, happy birthdays. I love your sense of humor. I love your kindness. I love you being always here and making me smile and happy. But I also want to say that those of you who has a twin flame who is a Virgo, good luck somehow as well, who is not awakened, because they are very logical. And all of the mumbo jumbo stories, what I'm going to tell you today, might be very scary for Virgo, who likes the structure, who likes the logic. So if your twin flame is a Virgo, then I just say to you, have some patience and listen what I have to say today. You're here for a reason. Right before we dive into these incredible stories, I will walk you through of the union part that helps you tremendously, and embody these practices today. They will help you to navigate on this journey in the darkest times or when you don't have the answers. And to realize we are all one. And you are one with your twin. There is no separation. The separation is an illusion from the mind. Because the mind believes if I don't have it next to me, then I don't have it. It's the same thing like, for example, in a life, if I don't have something, then it's not there. But someone else has it, so it is here. So the very first thing is I want to say, stop the labeling today. I know that I use on my podcast as well a lot about using the words twin flames, sometimes divine feminine, divine masculine, the runner, the chaser. I use these words for our mind. I know that for our soul, none of these words matter. But I use this to give you a bit of a overview and understanding. But I don't want to let you get stuck in the labels. Because when you are stuck in the labels, you are stuck in a separation. When you refer all the time, my twin flame, my divine masculine, my runner, this and that, and you constantly consume the information about something outside of you, you are in a separation. And there is a very profound learning on a spiritual world is learn to unlearn. We're constantly in a place where we think that information is something that is helping us. And it does in a certain ways, yes. But information can also make us stuck. That's why I often say when we consume the information and it says, oh, you are on a twin flame journey if you had this, 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 and this, and this, and that, then you are. But if you didn't have this one, then you're not. Or you will have the union only when your twin flame is in your life. That is the union. And if you don't have this, you have failed. You don't know anything about it. None of this is true. Number one, the union is within. And that's what your twin flame came to teach you. It came to mirror you that all of the love, all of this, who you are, is inside of you. It's not outside of you. And that's why it is so painful and so crazy what is starting to happen to you, because the universe starts to speak to you. Signs will be there. You will feel the energy of your twin. You will have so many things happening while you don't have them in your life. Or you can even have them in your life. But still, they will show you something, why they came here. Because when we are labeling them, the longer we are staying in a separation. And that comes down to my own journey. Because 22nd of August is a very big day for me. That was the day when my twin, after 4 or 5 months, returned to my life. And that was the moment when I realized, this is real. This is real. And what happened to me just 2 days ago makes it even more real. I will get to that. So just from today on, stop the labeling. Just stop it. There is no twin flame. There is no divine masculine. There is no divine feminine. There is no this thing. There is oneness. There is you. You in oneness. And repeat that mantra as many times as you need. I am one. I am you. You are me. We are one. And just see what starts to happen inside of you. Today you will also find it on Patreon, the gratitude and oneness to the love meditation, which you can do whenever you feel like. So just try this for a second. And that's one of the reasons why I have said many times, don't consume as much as tarot readings about divine masculine, about the information about divine masculine, because the more you are consuming the divine masculine energy, for example, outside of you, the more you are disconnected from inside of you. We have both of the energies, divine feminine and divine masculine, and yin and yang, they need to come to the balance. The next thing is about the gratitude. This journey is a gift, and it's a gift that keeps on giving you. You will never, ever lose on this journey. Never. No matter what is going to be the outcome. And I know that today you would think, my only happy outcome would be to have this person in my life. But believe me, it's not about that person. If that person comes to your life, that's beautiful. That is an experience. That is something magical to experience. But also when you are in your inner union and in oneness and in gratitude, it happens already right now, right here. And there's a reason I also tell you this. There was this beautiful soul another day came for an activation, and she herself is a Kundalini facilitator. She did exactly the same course as I did. She met the Pai Villarazza, who is the founder of the Inner Dance. She did all of this, and she came on a call, because that's what I say. Once you are activated with this energy, it's first, of course, can destroy your whole life. It's going to burn it down. That's what is the power of Kundalini. I liked how Sadhguru said, Kundalini is like a nuclear power. It's the most potent energy, but also the most dangerous energy, like nuclear, which means nuclear energy gives us very quickly a lot of energy. But if something happens to it, it will destroy everything. And Kundalini is pretty much the same, I can say. So anything that is not in alignment with you will get destroyed. But once you are in alignment and having the activations, the heart opening, the oneness, the unity, this is so beautiful. I do this constantly, and many of you have started to see who have booked themselves a monthly session at least. They tell me, I know now what you're talking. I understand it now. That's why my workshops and everything is based on embodiment now. And I saw this on my first retreat when we had it here in Cyprus. Talking will not get us closer. Embodiment will. And from there on, I started workshops. I realized there's no way I can talk hours, but I need you to embody. And it's the same with the podcast. But podcast, what is the beauty of here when you're listening to that, you pick up some beautiful words, some things that resonate with you. I know that some of you sometimes, I don't know where you're listening to me. Maybe you're on the beach, maybe you're in the forest, maybe you're in a car, maybe you just woke up or you're going to sleep. Another day I heard the person said to me, when I feel so overwhelmed and I don't know how to meditate, I put on your podcast and I just listen and I listen and I listen. And now I also understand when my twin told me, but hearing that from you, when he told me, I can listen to you for hours. And I didn't understand that at the time, what he means listening to me for hours. And now when I hear from some of you that it gives comfort, I feel peace. I feel that at least I know that something gives you peace while you're going through a very hard time. So coming back to the gratitude, the woman who came on this activation, she told me a beautiful story, and I found it so fascinating, and I found it that this is exactly a twin flame journey. She was traveling with her daughters, and they had a trip with dolphins. And so they were swimming with the dolphins and had a good time and everything. And another day they jumped into the water and dolphins didn't come. And the daughter said, Mommy, look, the dolphins are not coming. They don't like us. They don't want to come to us. Why they are not coming? I want them to come. And I like what she said. She said, they will not come when we want them to come. And that is such a profound message for you on Twin Flame Journey while you're waiting for them. Your twin flame will not come when you want them to come. And now here is why the gratitude is an essence of everything. And then the mother said to the children, you had an experience with them already. Do you remember this experience? How was it? Did you connect to it? Did you feel the love? And now give them a gratitude for that experience, what you had. Experience of feeling love, feeling connected. And the daughter gave the gratitude of saying, yes, I had a beautiful time with them. And then they went back to the water and all the dolphins came around them. And I found that story so beautiful from the perspective of Twin Flame Journey as well. I always say, give them a gratitude. My day starts and ends with a gratitude what my twin has given to me. I always say thank you for that. He's gave me the inner peace and inner love that I didn't know existed. My understanding of love was very different. It was based on achievement, based on I have to prove, I have to be, I have to do, and I didn't trust who I am. But he brought me back to this, and it's a lifetime gift that anyone can give you. And if your twin did that to you, give them a gratitude. And even if they didn't, and they broke you apart, and your heart is aching today, still give them a gratitude. that they showed you something you didn't know that exists inside of you. They awakened you to see the truth. They awakened you to be you, wherever they are right now. And I am extremely thankful that they have come in your life and awakened you. And we have more and more twin flames awakening because there's a reason for that. The earth is on that stage right now. So even if you're listening this to 2028 right now, for example, and your awakening was on 2025, then know that that's a very normal part. Twin flames are awakening and it becomes more and more common. So it's not going to be this mumbo jumbo crazy people or souls, however we want to say it. The next thing is what I really want to say is that don't overconsume information, and also listen to your voice. In stillness we find the answers. The answers are in stillness, not what is happening outside of us, but what's happening inside of us. When we change the inner world, we reflect the outer world. And I said on my last podcast, if it happens that your twin flame idea or twin flame as a word, as a so-called person, which is why I say don't use the label, controls your life, you are in jail. Because someone else's actions, reactions, attention will control you. Is it easy to get there? No, not at all. The longing is there. I know that longing. I could wait forever when I would receive the message or when I would get an answer. Was this all real, or did I make it up, or what's wrong with me? And I could constantly Google up and down what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, how they're going to come back, what should I do, what I shouldn't do. And I kept on hearing, it's inside of you, but I couldn't understand until the embodiment starts to happen. And today is like a full circle for me. And I hope that this my story will also inspire you to know that it's not a punishment. And I know so many of you are writing time to time, I hate this journey. I don't want to hear anything from my twin. I feel so much pain. I have been crying for months. I cannot function anymore. My life is like, it's like taken over by something. But I wanted that you listen to me today, and just for a moment you close your eyes and have the trust of the voice your intuition is saying to you something. Listen to it. And that's why the meditations, activations, the Kundalini activations, breath work, Reiki, yoga even. I have heard DMT is very powerful, quantum healing. All of these things will help you. But the help will be along the ways. You're never alone. And now I want to bring into the last thing about we are all connected. You know that you're connected with me. You know that. Many of you who have connected with me somehow, one way or another, when I always know, another day I woke up and I had these Turkish words in my field, and I don't speak Turkish. I don't know a word of Turkish. And I'm like, that's very strange. But I understood it was Turkish. So something inside of me. And I had my meditation, I had my connection, I did what I do on my morning rituals. And then I go into my email and I receive a message. Oh, you were in my dreams last night. You were telling me this, or you're doing this, and can I book the session with you? Then it just made me laugh. That, yeah, we were communicating in a way that doesn't make sense to the logic. And that's the last point I want to tell you. Stop figuring it out. Stop figuring it out today. You will not figure it out. And that goes out to the Virgos, the Virgo masculines maybe who are running or whoever. you will not figure this out. You can read millions of books. You can get all the information. You can watch non-stop tarot. You can do anything you wish. You'll not figure this out with your mind, but you will know with your soul. And that brings me to the very amazing things that have happened recently, and I just want to share them. Number one was the fact that long back ago, it wasn't long back ago, but it must have been before Lionsgate. A beautiful soul who we do regularly channeling and connecting, and she comes on a call and she tells me how it was her trip, and all of a sudden she mentions to me saying, do you know, B, I was at the airport and I met this Albanian rapper and we took a picture together and he was so kind and he was so loving and he was this and that. And I'm stopping for a moment. They say, what did you say? And I'm just saying that this happens in United States. So I'm far away from United States. And I say, Albanian rapper. His name is, I said the name. And she looks at me and says, how do you know? And I stopped her for a moment and I said, because he is a twin flame of another girl who I know. And I texted this other girl, I said, was he your twin flame? Because they know each other, they met each other and all of that. So it's not like, and she says, how do you know? Because we are all connected. And that's another sign of while you are on twin flame journey that you're going to attract other twin flames without knowing why you're going to attract them. You don't know that until there is this thing. Like I told you a year ago, and this is why this podcast is a sign for you. You would never listen to this podcast. This will never come on your way if you aren't on this journey. And if it doesn't resonate. If it doesn't resonate with you, then maybe something else. But if you're in so-called twin flame or mumbo jumbo or quantum couple or dingle dangle, doesn't matter what is the label. There is something inside of our code, inside of our energy that we attract. And of course, we know the law of the universe. You attract of who you are. So if I call myself so-called twin flame, I'm going to attract the twin flames. So, and then, obviously, the woman who came on the call for a channeling, she was like, this is insane. And just to think about it, what are the odds of knowing that? But we are all connected. And that's why I know you are connected to your twin. There is no separation. It doesn't exist. That's why channeling is very powerful. Many of you are thinking when we do the channeling or the activation that we are entering to your twin's field. No, we never do that. The twin is in your field, and whatever the twin is telling on your field, because I asked the permission to go through you, is there. But I cannot go into your twin's field and say, do this, do that, be that. This is not how it works. That's why I often say when we have the channeling sessions, you know everything what I'm going to tell you, because your twin's energy has been constantly telling you this. And now when you come to me, I read your energy. I'm a very fast energy reader. That's I can tell. I read energies very quickly. And as a child or as a teenager, I thought it's a gift and a curse. And I had very difficult times to understand why no one else is around me don't see that. And for a while I was suppressing it very badly. Again, my twin brought it up inside of me. Anyways, so that was one of the story. And another beautiful story was this week that made me so happy. It just opened my heart. There was a German woman who came on the call and she said, I'm really sorry, but I don't speak a very good English, but I try my best to communicate. And I said, I don't need language actually. I read the energy, but it's beautiful to hear your story. It's beautiful to connect to. It's beautiful to share that space. And she tells me her journey, and all of a sudden she said, I met a girl. She's much younger than me. And I didn't know why I have to go and speak to that girl. But I felt like I have to. And as many of you know on this twin flame journey, We don't really go around and talk about our experience to random people. We often hold it inside because it feels way too insane and we don't even know what it is. What is happening? And so she felt she has to go and talk to that stranger, or the universe put them together. And then she said, that girl told me, go and listen to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast and you'll have your answers. And so that's how we connected. And then later I posted on Instagram because it was so beautiful to see that we feel the urge of doing something. We hear the voice of inside of us. And that's why I said, listen to your voice. Listen what the voice is telling you inside. The heart, the soul, not the mind. The mind will tell you, don't do this, don't do that, don't go there, this and that. The mind wants to limit you, but the soul wants to set you free. And so when she came across with my podcast, and she doesn't even speak English so well, but she said, I love listening to you. It gives me the peace. And so that other person connected, and it gave me such a love and gratitude. And I'm so thankful. Because when I know that there is a little piece of hope today when you're listening to it, then life is going to get better. You're gonna have the union. I know that. If you came here, you are for that. Oh, and now to the story that I don't even know how to begin. Many of you heard my story of giving birth another day for my spiritual baby. And it triggered many of you, because many of you felt how on earth you can have a baby with your husband while you have a twin, and then you have a baby out, like in that sense, like your twin is the ultimate love, and then you have a baby with your husband. And so how does this all work? But I'm going to tell you that Lily is a very special soul. She chose me. I never thought in my life that I'm going to have 3 kids. I pretty much got pregnant by looking at my husband. That's just as a joke. I'm like a Virgin Mary over here. And she chose me. And also she chose the parents. Like, I'm going to tell you, every child chooses their parents for a reason. We can blame them. We can feel that sometimes it's unfair why my mother or father are like this, but we choose them. We choose them to go and show them a lesson. And then when my journey came to the point when I heard from the channeling that your journey is to awaken your husband, awaken your twin, and guide others. That was the moment where inside of me again, like everything aligned, like the puzzle piece cut together again. And I realized, that's what it is about. It's not about that person. And now I believe that as I've been a little bit failing of awakening my husband, then I think Lily is the one who's going to do it. She is there for that. Children come and teach us. I always listen to children. I always do. In the sense of I listen less adults than I listen to children. Children are my guides. I love them dearly. They are so connected to that other part still. And they have so much wisdom. And so I know it triggered. But today, or that journey, and I just want to share something very powerful that happened to me. And you heard, I think it was 4 or 5 episodes ago back, if some of you haven't heard the story of that girl coming to this world. And so you remember I was introduced to the doctor, and I said on my podcast that it was about the frequency. That first I didn't match the frequency with my previous doctor, and I remember my doula, she called me back after the delivery, and she told me like, oh, how was your experience, and how was the doctor, and how was all of this? And I said, It was all amazing. I have nothing negative to say. I can't even say anything because I am so thankful and I'm so grateful. That was so beautiful. And she said to me that, oh, then that doctor matched your frequency. And I didn't know what it means. So, getting to the story a little bit. When I first met my new doctor for the delivery, and I knew that Lily chose, I walked into the room. And like I said, I read energies very, very quickly. And I could see that his soul is wide awakened. And I don't know if I mentioned that on a podcast, but I did text to my Reiki master and I said, I found an amazing doctor whose soul is so awakened. And I felt, but I couldn't tell what it was. And so we had the delivery, we had all of that, and I knew I have to meet him. And I also knew that I have to give him the Kundalini session, and I knew I have to give him the Alchemist because there is some answer I don't know. And just to say that today is Paulo Coelho's birthday. Happy birthday, Paulo. Paulo changed my life. And whoever hasn't read The Alchemist yet, please do so. On Instagram, you can see me and Paulo, how we met. And there was an incredible meeting. Paulo was fascinated by me while I was fascinated by him. How funny is that? Anyways. And when I came back from the delivery, and when I was in my meditations or activations, the energy of the doctors keep on coming in and keeps on telling to me that, like, it's trying to tell me something. And inside of me, I was meditating and chanting. I said, what is it trying to tell me? What is this energy trying to tell me? And I could not get an answer. But here I often say also about channeling, we never force the answer. We never force that this is how it is. And I know many of you who are doing channeling with me, sometimes you have a very particular answer. You want to know. It's like, tell me exactly how it's going to be. But sometimes we don't get an answer like that. We get the clues, but we don't get the answer. So inside of me, I had that feeling that I understood on the part that his soul is awakened. So I have something to show him. Something's going to be there. But what? For God knows, you know. And I left it like that. But the energy kept on coming in. The energy tried to tell me something and told me something. And I was all right. And then we were supposed to have the follow-up. And that was also funny that it was supposed to be on 16th. And then, as we know, doctors' lives are busy. And it was moved to 22nd. And later on, the 22nd made a lot of sense. Anyways, I know that he's listening to that podcast now, and you will get to know why. And while I was meeting him prior, I said many times, I have a podcast. But I don't share this podcast. And I was just thinking also in my head a little bit, like, if I share this podcast with him, he might be thinking that I'm a complete lunatic, which I am in certain ways. That I have my husband here, I'm coming to give birth, all of that. And then I talk about souls. And then I talk about twin flames, that you have a soul. And there is this, it's madness. It's madness for someone who hasn't experienced. And every time I kind of said, yeah, kind of let it go. So then I went to see him. And this is something, I don't know how many of you ever had that experience, but I sit down, had a brief conversation, and then I say, here is a gift to you. Thank you for the magical experience I had with Lily, because it was a magical experience. And I said, you're more than welcome to come and join the Kundalini activation session whenever you feel like. Whenever the heart is calling, you are ready for it. And then he says, do you know that I've been looking into soulmates and twin flames? And that was the moment where my soul inside of me just exploded. And all of these puzzle pieces made sense to me. Why his energy was coming in. Why when I walked into the room and I could see that his soul is awakened, but I couldn't tell exactly. Or maybe I didn't want to believe that he could be a twin flame. So I with my mind, I was blocking it because my soul knew that he's a twin flame. So now when I'm thinking back of that, Lily chose the doctor who is a twin flame. What are the odds and what are the possibilities? I also want to say that, so it wasn't about the frequency of me going from, let's say, the hospital where I was and all of this. It was about the frequency of so-called, let's use the word twin flames, but like I said, twin flames have a very special code. There is an energy. When I met Leona at the airport, that's a year ago when I made that episode, my heart and my soul were screaming the same way. You need to speak to her. You need to speak to her. You need to speak to her. And I didn't, again, because I went to the state of, hey, B, just leave people alone. Let them be. You need to talk to everyone all the time. Anyways, when I heard that, I was blown away. It all started to make sense. Everything, why I met this doctor, why he was at the birth. Because Lily is also born on the year of snake, which was told to me by another beautiful soul. And snake is the energy of Kundalini. That's why we see a lot of Kundalini awakenings. We see, and it's going to become more and more and more. And I was just like, wow, that soul is powerful. And it was such a beautiful moment because that marked me on the 22nd of August, 3 years ago, when right before the Lion's Gate, I surrendered. I surrendered to the state, okay, twin flames are real. Whatever we want to call it, it's real. I have met part of my soul. This is all real. And I couldn't fight it because I was so exhausted. And then about what it comes down to 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks later, I received on the 22nd of August a message from my twin. Hey. And then I looked it up in the sky and I was like, this is all real. This is all real. I'm not making this up. This is not something. And that moment I knew that so-called twin flames are real. This experience is real. That love is real. That this is all real. And now when this happened to me, if someone would have told me 3 years ago that one day you will, let's say, meet a doctor or you will have that experience when someone tells you about like that, I would have never believed that. I would have said, this is nonsense. This will never happen. And it happened. And again on a synchronicity of the 22nd. And it brought me such an inner peace with all of you of knowing who are listening to that yeah, we are all one. Let that journey show you the way. Let the signs guide you where you have to go. Open your heart. And now I have just enormous gratitude how my twin also changed everything in my life. Everything. And somebody asked another day that, are you willing to leave your husband for your twin or something? And my answer and my soul is keep on telling that there is no need for me to leave someone for anybody. If the time is up, the time is up. If the change is there, the change is there. But I choose the love and inner knowing within me. And I choose to be the best version I can be. Because when I am the version I can be, I'm never going to be perfect. Don't get me wrong here. I'm far away from perfect. But I'm going to be the example of light. Because when we don't see in darkness, then light is what takes us there. And I'm forever thankful for every soul that has chosen to be here. Every soul that has decided to connect. And for your twin flames. And that's why I wanted to say that even for my doctor's twin flame, it's a gift that she awakened him. And I got to have that experience. Look how everything is like linked from one place to another. I don't know how many of you have been to gynecologists. I know that we have about 88% of my listeners are women. So many women can definitely connect to the fact that, I don't know if you have your gynecologist and they start telling to you about souls and twin flames. I don't know. But yeah, we attract of who we are. And if you are listening to this, you are a twin flame. I have no doubt anymore. You wouldn't listen to a single word. That's why when I started this podcast, I said, I will not market this. This has not an idea. The idea is that it will reach to those who would need it. And even if it's a one person, for me, it was about one person. If one person changes and shifts their life, it's enough for me. It's enough what I had to do. So yeah, in the sense of if you're wondering what's going on your journey, and what was interesting also, I want to come back to the trust. Because trust is also one of the things that you have to implement. I remember when I walked to the doctor's office and the one thing I kept on repeating was trust. That all I need is trust. I don't need anything else, but I need trust. Because trust is the energy of making things happen. And I also now think of the back that, thinking back, when he told me about, I've been looking into soulmates and twin flames. It requires trust to say that to a stranger. Although, again, like I say, there was already a trust. Because we know also when a woman gives birth, it's the most vulnerable state that any woman can be. You are in the most vulnerable state. You are in pain. Nobody can take your pain away. You are naked. You are bleeding. And you are somehow in a state of trance because it is a ritual. Giving birth is a ritual. So you need a trust around you. That's why when I hired my doula as well, I told her, I don't believe that you need to do anything much with me. But when I go into the state of not talking anymore and I'm in that somewhere else, then I need that someone communicates for me because I'm unable to communicate. And so what is interesting part that Lily knew who to trust and bring the trust. And at the same time, the trust came back when the doctor said, because honestly, I couldn't trust anybody on this when I first came to know about it. I thought this is insane. And I also said that on a Costa Rica retreat. Might have said it in Cyprus, but I can't remember right now. How thankful I am that you trust me. You trust to come and to see someone who is a complete stranger. I know I'm not a stranger in the soul world. I know we've been connected. We're one. I know that. But in an avatar, in an ego, or the person I am today, I'm a stranger somehow. And you're listening to me, and you're taking a leap of faith to call me, to connect with me, to come to the retreat and discover something. And that trust is priceless. In Costa Rica, I said the same thing, that how thankful I am that you took a leap of faith to trust something unknown. I am somehow unknown. And now I like to put the unknown and universe together. Because it's like universe is unknown and unknown is a universe, like a play with words. So, and I'm very, very thankful that so many of you have trusted their journey, their vulnerable state to me, and opened themselves up. You are a gift, and you are a gift that keeps on giving, and this journey is a gift that keeps on giving. And I'm very thankful and grateful for that. So I'm gonna end it over here, and I let you to reflect a little bit what you just heard. And maybe that ignited something inside of you while you're questioning, are you on this journey or not? But remember, it's not about the label. Just drop the label today and dive into the feeling. You can do on Patreon today the Gratitude, Oneness, Love meditation that's going to be there. you can do any other heart meditations or anything. They're all on Patreon and they're all links in bio. We'll meet again on the 31st of August for the workshop, Integration of the Energy. So you can join this via Zoom. A lot of beautiful souls, a lot of love, a lot of light. And then about the Bali and Italy retreat, like I said, you can sign up for the waiting list. Bali will most probably happen during the Shivaratri at the end of February. Italy, most probably springtime. We'll see how the schedule is going to be and how it's aligning. So you can just sign up, and when you receive, you'll be the first one, because with Cyprus retreat, like it's coming now in November, like I said, it was 10 minutes and it was sold out. Anyways, I want to just give a lot of gratitude. Thank you for bringing the magic to my life. And just know that you are not alone. We are one. And the help will be there. And your twin is with you all the time. Just listen to the inner voice. Quiet the mind and listen to it. Lots of love and lots of light.
Like a sunrise horizon, always there, always shining, building me up with the song it's singing, filling my heart like I'm flying. You're always warm, always hold me, the biggest part of my story, healing my soul, help me feel completion, bringing my here to my glory. It keeps pulling me back. Keeps pulling me back to you. It keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back to you. It keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back to you. It keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back to you. Never proud, never leaving. I won't ignore when I'm sinking. Can't let go even when I'm wandering. I won't give up on my journey. It won't forget any promise, but won't remember my failures. And never shame me, won't wanna hurt me, won't ever fail me. It keeps pulling me back. Pulling me back to you. It keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back to you. It keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back to you. It keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back. It's your love, love. It's your love. Like a sunrise horizon, you're always there, always shining, building me up with the song it's singing.